Hey, hey.
Hey,
I'm Brian,
and I'm Kristen.
and this is the Brian and Kristen podcast. And happy Sunday, everybody. We're doing this today on a Sunday. How's everything going, Kristen?
Pretty well. Nothing too eventful to report. Just head out tomorrow to Milwaukee and then on to Austin.
Oh, cool, man. I'm just gonna go to Austin here in a month. So tell the people I'm gonna be coming there. Get them ready.
Try to take the flyers. I'll take flyers for you.
Yeah, take some flyers to promote for me. So
I'll pass it on the airplane. I'm sure that's legal.
yeah, get some audience because I'll be there on let's see, the last week of November, November, I think 22nd or something like that, right before Thanksgiving. So, and then I'll be in El Paso the day after Thanksgiving and then the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So, if anybody's out and about there, come on out and have a good time. So,
And Thanksgiving with Brian.
yeah, exactly. So, I won't be here with Bestie and Mom, but I don't know. You plan on coming home, Kristen?
I'm supposed to work, so we'll
Oh,
see.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
But hey, you get paid
So,
twice as much. So
yeah, you got to take that gig then. You got to take that gig. Um, so great. Well, we're here, and every week we take questions from the audience, and so by all means, we're if you don't know who we are, we're a brother and sister team. I met a guy this week who didn't know you were my sister, and he was like,
wait, you thought you were just doing the podcast with a random person?
yeah, he said, "Oh, I thought it was your ex-girlfriend." I said, "Now, why would somebody do a podcast with their ex? That's weird, dude. First off, ew, gross. Okay, like, dude. And then like, oh, my current girlfriend's gonna like. I mean, like, oh my god, like it was. I was like, you need to actually watch the podcast, dude. You clearly it was the first episode you watched when you figured out it was my
Oh my
sister.
gosh. I mean, has he been watching? I mean, he's either, well, obviously he's not watched it, or he's watched it and been confused for all these episodes.
Yeah, maybe he saw some clips. I don't know. I mean, because it goes on people's Facebook feeds, so and YouTube feeds. So, um, but and I was on a really great podcast, Dr. Gonzo, and I was also on another really great podcast called The Relationship Smith. That's on YouTube, and these guys are fantastic. They've actually saw our podcast, Kristen, and they call me in, and they really had some good questions. In fact, maybe I'll clip some of those together so we can put a clip or two on here from what they did. But they were super cool, and I had a blast. So this week I kind of made the podcast circuit a little bit. So um, that was pretty cool. But
Wow.
yeah. So but
Okay.
now
Business podcast.
yeah, yeah. So I was so each week we take questions from the audience, and you said that this week you usually it's I kind of find that people I'm kind of getting message to questions, but this week you got a question from the audience, which you haven't told me yet. So I want you to go ahead and say what the question is, and then we'll answer it.
Okay. And the reason I haven't told you is because you never tell me. Just so the audience is very clear, I almost never know what the question is until we are on the podcast. So my answers are on the spot answers. I haven't had any thoughts about it prior.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this week's question is, what's your favorite memory of each other?
Okay. And I'm supposed to
Crickets.
go first.
Yeah, that's usually how you do to me.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that is true. Okay, you're okay. You switched the role here. Okay. Um, let's see. The favorite memory of each other. Well, um, I remember what are some good times? Well, I know that when you were in the pageants there that year, Bradford Pumpkin, Troy Strawberry Queen. Um, Those were fun. I think probably though, actually going to spring training with Dad out there. I remember that one year we were leaving and you were crying because you didn't want to leave Florida. Do you remember that?
I know you said that one other time, and I don't remember that at all. I mean, I remember spring training in Florida, but I don't remember crying about it.
Yeah, when we were leaving, you were crying. I mean, not like you were throwing a fit. You were just crying because you were sad to leave. And now you live in
And then
Florida.
weeks I was so excited. Yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, I guess there were, I guess there were a lot. I liked, I guess too, swimming. I don't know if you remember that time when Mom was getting rough with us in the pool and Blue bit her. He kind of bit.
I
He
do
kind of
remember
bit her
that.
butt. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, not that I liked that our dog bit my mom, but he didn't bite her hard. He was just warning her. Hey, he thought she was getting too rough with us. I think, and he was being a protective dog. So that would, I would say, those are a couple of them. And of course, then you bringing Rowdy home. I liked that was a good one. And then when we were actually when Mrs. M made us the costume of Bran Flake and we were Raisin Bran. We were the Halloween costume of uh, California
Yeah.
Raisins. I forget. Was
Yep.
I the
And you
raisin
were
and you were the Bran Flake, or was I the Bran Flake and you were the raisin?
the brand flake and I was the raisin. And we won the Halloween
Okay.
costume that year in Covington.
Yes, I was the Bran Flake and you were the raisin. That's right, because you were. She kind of made uh, a trash bag over it, right? For the raisin.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So that's kind of what I remember of some of the stuff. Oh, wait a minute, one more. I really like this one too. When I got arrested in Bradford, and and you took the video camera as Dad came in and was interrogating the cops.
I videotaped it.
Yeah, you don't remember this? I got the footage
Oh,
still. I actually I found the tape. It was one of those little video cameras with the little tapes, and I took it to
mhm.
Walmart, and they made it so that you can put it on your computer. So you came in holding that little camera, and Dad was like, "Film this, film this."
That's right.
And then one of the cops kind of pushed you out of the way. And then of course Dad, don't you assault her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you were filming Dad going in there and getting out what I had done, which what I had done was moon the cops. So so, so so that was what yeah, I have the footage. I should try to find that and play it next time because it was great footage.
Oh,
So
that's funny. Yeah.
um
How I forgot about that.
so I would say I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's kind of the top of the ones I remember. Oh, I liked when we went to the World Championships too there in LA. That was cool. um First time going to Los Angeles. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I
No,
remember.
that World Championships is like a Olympics for like acting and all kinds of
Yeah,
things, right? Like it's for the
yeah,
arts, so people understand what that is. So yeah, we went to that together in LA.
yeah. Kristen did dancing and tap ballet, and I did an acting monologue. And we met people from all over the world, and I really liked that a lot. I had a fun time there. I mean, for us too, being like, well, you were probably 17 or 18, and I was 18 or 19, and I really liked that experience. So I had never, I mean, I was I hadn't, I never thought I would leave Ohio. So that was, I mean, I had been on vacations and stuff, but that kind of got me thinking of moving out of Ohio. And so, yeah, that was a good time. Yeah. So,
Um,
that ends my session of the question. What's your answer?
My answer is the stink bomb day, which I know we've talked about on here before. So Brian orchestrated an entire stink bombs to be dropped in the high school all at the same time. And he didn't get in trouble for it because nobody could actually prove it was him, but he sold them like out of the back of his truck and then all at the same time. And everyone was like, your brother did this. I'm like, well, I'm sure he did. But I was like, wow, he's more clever and entrepreneurial than I would have thought.
Yeah, yeah, I really if only I would have planned the rest of my life as well as I planned the stink bomb drop. I
And
would
the
have been a
principal
lot
knew
more
it was him, but
successful.
couldn't do anything about it.
Sorry, say that again.
I said the principal knew that it was you, but couldn't do anything about it because he didn't have any evidence. Like,
Yeah,
so that was the funniest part.
yeah, I really felt like a
And
yeah, I felt like a professional criminal because I really had it all set out up. And what happened was I actually had one of my friends selling the stink bombs out of my truck while I was in detention for a chorus class for dropping stink bombs. All right. And the big thing was the stink bomb. The stink bombs were going on. And it started in science class. I used to drop them right after science class. And then the science teacher and the principal were threatening to suspend me. And I said, well, don't threaten me with a good time. And so then I set up the stink bomb drop. And when I was in detention, my other friend was selling the stink bombs from my truck, which I had already bought. And then between third period and fourth period, we let havoc on that school. And it was the great stink bomb drop. And it's never been matched since. There's never been a raid that done that well. I mean, so.
I'm sure most people wouldn't try that today.
Yeah, I bought the stink bombs from a place called Crazy Martin's in Piqua, and I went to Crazy Martin's recently and asked them, "Do you have any stink bombs?" And they said no. They had to get rid of the stink bombs for whatever reason. They said kids would still be dropping them in school, but not like to the degree that I did back then. So
The original.
yeah, the original. Yeah, that was a pretty good day, I've got to say. It was a success. Everything was cattywampus. Uh, and, and and everybody knew I was behind it, but you know what? That's how you commit a good crime. They know who did it, but they can't prove it.
So in other memories, one that isn't as criminal, I would say that probably going to your state wrestling meets, the state
Yeah.
wrestling meet.
Yeah. Now the match before the state tournament that put me there, I think that was the one that was kind of like that tournament because I had to win 5 matches in one day. And I remember you and dad and mom all sitting there and were you filming that match or was it dad? I know you were there and
I
I
don't
do
know.
have
Based on prior answers, maybe I was.
yeah. And but it's really cool because I can hear everybody screaming, cheering me on. Well, mom was screaming, "Don't let him get you," and everybody else was cheering me on. And we have the footage of that, and I have that also when I went to Walmart to get those videos done. So yeah, that was a pretty big one. I just wish that at the state tournament I would have done better. I feel like I kind of choked, but uh that's I got to live with that
That
forever.
was
But
like that.
but
Move on.
what's that? Yeah, I got to
So
move
that's
on.
years ago. So
Yeah, it's hard to move on from that. So, um, but yeah, that's a great day. That was for me. Yeah, that was fun. I was happy that everybody was there on that day. I mean, basically, you guys were there on pretty much almost all of my matches. Dad only missed one of my matches from seventh grade on, and that was because he was doing my paper out for me. And then I looked up in the stands, and he wasn't there, and I was kind of I got pinned. That was the first time in seventh grade I had gotten pinned, and I don't know. No, because I was just used to having him there, and I got kind of worried, but I knew he was doing my paper out. But you know, so yeah. So that was any other memories, or is that the two most biggest ones?
I'm sure there's others. I'll have to think more about it, but I think those two, that you're being a criminal and then being a almost winner.
Yeah, almost winner. Yeah. Well, I was a winner on that day, but at state, yeah, I wasn't a
Yep.
winner, but I got 2 days off of school, so that was cool. I didn't have to go to school for the wrestling match. So, um, do you remember the pep rally before the wrestling match? When
No.
Okay, so before the district tournament, there was a big pep rally for the wrestling team. You have the spirit stick and all this, and then they talk to you. And I said, girls, I won't be available next weekend because I got a date at state. Another famous quote there. I'm surprised that hasn't been written down and used as a meme somewhere.
You should do
Oh man. Well, well, that was another great podcast, Kristen. And like we said, we usually just do short podcasts for you guys, 15 minutes every time, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, but not too much, so that on your drive from work you can catch up. And we take all questions. So if you have a question, send us a message or leave a comment, and we will answer it for you.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Yep. See you on the next one. Thanks for joining me, Kristen.
Bye.
Bye.